Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks on Ungainly Titan. We're on Severogorsk, which has been returned to the map rotation after a long absence, and we're in the M41 Walker Bulldog. This is assault mode, and I think it's the only time I've had assault mode on Severogorsk since it came back, and this is a scouting orientated game as well. I have been complaining about the quality of scouting, so I feel that while I'm not the world's greatest scout, I do know principles of what I should be trying to achieve. So I thought I would share the benefit of my experiences with you. One of the things you can get away with on this map in assault mode that you can't do it in standard mode, although I would still come down this way. I've been trying to come down this way in a fast mobile light tank like this. Just skirt around the edges of the town. I wouldn't venture past the edges of the town, and I would run back if I was spotted, as soon as I was spotted, back up along the river or the low ground to become unspotted before I ventured down again. I wouldn't consider my duty, at least in the early stages of the game, to be combat orientated. It's just to keep an eye on where the enemy are, what they're doing, and light them up so that my team can orientate themselves in the best way they can manage. Now I'm coming down to this ridge here. I'd more or less planned to come here all along, and I skirted wide so that I could come up to this direction, hidden on my approach and wide enough back that anyone who had gone to the river edge as scouts would have seen me, or wouldn't have seen me, and if they did see me, I had the opportunity of fleeing further back into the base or doubling back onto the tanks that were coming down the western side. I've managed to light up quite a few enemy tanks in quite a few different locations. This is actually a great defensive location if you have a tank destroyer with good view range. I've had great games here with tanks like the T-67 and the Hellcat, because their view range practically extends out to the gaps on the eastern side where the tanks that go down the eastern corridor come out. So as my team arrives, I'm starting to pick up some spotting damage. Now the Lycan has pushed forward very aggressively, and he has spotted me, so I'm going to have to get rid of him because he's too far back anyway, and he was going to die, but I can do it safely. I just pull off the hill, and I'm cut off. I have the terrain between myself and most of the enemy tanks. There is a heavy tank down there being harassed by a light and a medium, and I would love to go down there and be in a position to help him out, but he's just too far forward, and the risk of going down there and getting caught with him is just way too high. Whereas I think I'm more used to the team back here spotting targets for the rest of my team. If either of those two tanks in the river come up, I will spot them, and I'll also have a reasonably good chance of getting a shot off of them. So every time I'm cresting the ridge on a regular basis, again in order to keep the guys in the back lit. If I can't stay there because every time I come up I'm being spotted, but if I come up on a regular basis and there's no particular or predictable pattern to my appearance, and I don't show too much the tank, or I don't stay there for long, I continue to keep the tanks in front of me spotted, and therefore the tanks behind me can then get the opportunity to fire at them, as well as the artillery. So we've picked up quite a bit of damage at this stage, and I've gotten rid of most of the tanks that are most likely to spot me. They're not around here, so I'm not spotted at the moment, and I'm actually taking shots at the enemy, and I'm not getting spotted while doing it. Now I got 6 cents went off there, the ISU 152. It looks like it gotten close enough to spot me there when I fired. So then I revert back to doing what I was doing, and I become one spot, and I come back up in a further location. I could have also, probably at this stage of the game, become more aggressive and actually closed in with the enemies, although I wait a little bit longer before I do it in the actual game, because I'm hoping to do it with a greater amount of support than I'd currently be achieving. We have pretty much whittled down the enemy numbers though considerably. We're 3 tanks up. There's only 6 enemy tanks remaining, and I'm going to get another crack here at the ISU 152, or am I? No, the Hellcat has appeared, and he's just as good a target. He's further back, so I'm out of his view range. My camouflage netting is still working. I'm not going to penetrate the roof of the fatherland there. Allies are starting to close in on the enemy position, so I now come down off my perch and just close in on the enemy position myself. I can approach this side pretty much undetected. So I'm going to get as close as I can. Somebody's just taken out the RT, whether he was going to drown himself or he had some actual plan, I don't know. I'm going to do a circle around the fatherland. I can afford to risk it at this late stage of the game, plus it distracts the fatherland completely. If he's paying attention to me, then he's not paying attention to allied tanks that are coming in to help destroy him. So I've made one circuit. The fatherland has fled into the water to try and get as little, I suppose, profile shown as possible. And we've finished him off, and now there's only one remaining enemy tank. He is over there. There are allies nearer to him, and they are more likely to finish him off than I will before I get there. So that is it. Game over. We got 21 assisted ribbons, 9 directly, and 2 actual kills. So we did 1300 regular damage, nearly 2,500 assisted damage. We've got a fire for effect, so we've done more damage than our hit points, and we got a first class mastery. And we came second by experience, which I think is a pretty credible performance. It was a tier 8 battle, although it wasn't very strongly tier 8. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider giving it a like. If you have not already done so, please consider giving the channel a subscription. And once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.